If you are just waking up with us here at 6:40 on a Friday morning, the big story we're following all morning long is United Auto Workers Union taking an unprecedented strike, striking all three Detroit automakers at the same time.
The walkout started at midnight after no deal was reached for a new contract. You're looking live, by the way, at the Jeep plant in Toledo, Ohio. One of the targets of this strike, where we just heard a worker say a moment ago, he was honored when they called upon these workers to walk out.
And even though the UAW is doing a different type of strike this time around, kind of spotting and taking specific plants and having people start to picket, it is still going to have an economic impact on our state and across the country, depending on how long it goes.
And you wonder just exactly how that impact's going to be, because we've never seen a strike like this. But when we start asking questions like this, there's one guy to talk to, and that's Local 4 business editor and certified financial planner Rod Maloney. Rod, I'm completely fascinated by this strike so far. What stands out to you at this point, and I guess the reason behind this style of striking?
Well, what it does is it really does put a lot of pressure on the companies, but it's a very risky strategy because they're not under a contract anymore, okay? So the union's able to walk out. They're doing these targeted strikes. It's unusual in this setting because it used to be, or at least we thought it was illegal. But here's the thing. The company also doesn't have to employ workers. And so the company's option, if it chooses, is to lock workers out who aren't on strike. In other words, if they think that the plant's going to get taken down, they can lock the workers out who aren't on strike. So this is very risky. But this is something that we would see more in, say, Europe than you would here. It hasn't been done here that I know of, but it's a strategy that sort of ratchets up the pressure. Now, one of the things about the plants that were chosen is that these are not plants that have high volume sales. In other words, they didn't go after the big ones that are the big selling high profit stuff like the F-150 or the Sierra or the Ram truck. They didn't do that. They went to these plants. The plant in I believe Wentzville has like the Express van. They don't sell many of those. Yeah. The Gladiator and then Jeep Wrangler from the Toledo plant. Those vehicles are they sell well. Their sales are down at this point, but they're not massive sales. They make money, certainly, but they don't have massive sales. So this is essentially Sean Fain telling the car companies that, yes, we can do this to you, and we can ratchet up the pressure pretty quickly here if we want to. They did only assembly plants now. The next question is, okay, do they do components plants? Because that's what they have done traditionally in these kinds of strikes.
So this is an initial disruption, but the overall economic impact, there are still a lot of people that are still working.
Yes, there are only about 13,000 employees. I think it's a little less than 13,000 that are actually on strike. Everybody else goes to work and then waits to get the call if, in fact, it's going to come. But even at 13,000, that hits their strike fund pretty hard, but it's not as large a hit. And they have $825 million. That is not as large a hit if you take down like a whole, like General Motors in its entirety, and all of its, I think it's 40,000. Auto work.
Rod, we always ask, I guess, whenever this happens, how long could it last? And if this kind of staggered strike where not every person is on strike right away, or if they are, it might only last a day and then they can go back to work. Does that kind of factor into maybe lending to the belief it could go longer than normal?
It very well could, Jason. We don't know. I guess the first thing is, okay, when might they go?
I think we lost Ron just for a second.
But Monday, will they do it in a week? Will they do it in 2 weeks? We don't know. And that's what they want. They want to keep the car companies sort of on their back foot, trying to figure out what's going to happen. One of the things that has happened traditionally in strikes that we've seen, for instance, 4 years ago, the strike went 6 weeks. So, you might want to look at that as sort of an example of how long this could go. Probably take us, into when the snow starts flying.
So, Rod, we know that there are a lot of lists of demands that the United Auto Workers have, but one of the big ones, of course, is pay, and this pay increase that started at 42%. Can you just give us the quick numbers of where things ended at midnight last night for each of the three automakers?
Well, I'm not sure. I believe Stellantis still is at 17.5%, but Ford and General Motors were at 20%. And they were standing on their head trying to get their deals ratified, or at least to get the tentative agreements going so that they could get to a ratification vote. And Jim Farley was very clear. He felt that Shawn Fain in the last minutes had the opportunity to look and do something with their offer. And they were turned down. Shawn Fain, they said, basically at 8 o'clock came in and gave a counteroffer from the union perspective, but it didn't move much. And you're talking about what Ford claims is an historic offer, and General Motors said the same thing, that they gave them historic offers, that they went and really put a lot of cash into the wages. And Shawn Fain simply said no. Now, I have been talking to people in the car companies who believe that Shawn Fain had no intention of coming to a contract, that he wanted this strike. It's sort of been the thing that he's been aiming toward, and they believe that this is deliberate.
It has looked like that the entire time. Rod, we know you're working your sources. We're going to hear from you all day. I'm pretty sure you've said goodbye to sleep for quite a while in the near future, but we'll see you throughout the rest of the day with our coverage. We appreciate it.